All right. This week in ELA, our standard is what? We're quoting accurately from the text when explaining what the text says, explicitly, and drawing conclusions and drawing inferences from the text. Okay, that's our standard for today. All right. Also, we are using author's words from the text when making it clear in what the text says, straight up, and when drawing inferences from the text. Okay, nothing you're making up. All right, everything must come from the what? Text. Okay, that's what we're doing. What am I learning today? Okay, what are you learning?
How to explain what the text says clearly or by making an inference.
Okay, and everybody know what the inference is, right?
Yes.
Okay, Jaquez, what's the inference? Speak loud so I can hear you. Let Kingston help you out. Kingston, what's the inference?
The inference is combine what you got from the story and what you already know.
Correct. Very good. Okay. Why am I learning this? This is very important. Why am I learning this? Why are you learning this, Jasmine?
Explanations will always be right there. You may have to infer.
Okay. Sometimes answer may not always be right there. You may have to infer. Okay, that's why you're learning it. Okay. How do I know that I have learned the standard? How do you know at the end, once it's all over, how do you know that you have learned the standard? Camilla? How do you know? How do you know that you have learned the standard? Okay, when you can quote from the text, okay, or infer to explain what the text is about. Okay, everybody understand that?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. And this is a child making inferences. Okay. You can make inferences. You go beyond the author's words to understand what it's about, okay, or what it says. Putting the pieces together, that's making emphasis, okay? Drawing clues from the text, what I already know, questions I have, and what I can infer. Today's learning target, when you make an inference about the text, you can support what it says with quotes from the text. Okay, today we're going to read, lesson's going to be on the first flight, first in flight, okay? Who knows what the word flight means? Flight. Who knows what flight means in this class? The word flight. First in flight, that's our title of our story. Elijah?
Something that goes in the air.
Something that what?
Goes in the air.
Something goes in the air? Okay. Has anybody been on a flight before in this classroom? Okay. Don't be upset. And don't be afraid. I mean, say don't be ashamed because they'll say never been either. Matter of fact, my graduation, when I graduate in, I'm leaving you all in November. My graduation is in Arizona, and I'm supposed to be flying to Arizona. That's not gonna happen. That's a long ways. Gonna have to. I'm still thinking about that. I don't know.
Airplanes are dangerous.
Well, I ain't gonna say that, but so if you ever see have it, so no one ever been on an airplane before?
No.
Okay. How did you feel? Yes. How did you feel?
I was for the first time, so I was scared.
You were scared? Okay. Who else was on the flight before this class? Yes, ma'am. How did you feel?
I was asleep the whole time.
You asleep? Okay, I don't blame you. I probably sleep too. You're leaving off the ground, going in the air. I don't know about that. You been on a flight before? How did you feel?
I was scared.
Why?
I did it.
You just went to sleep? Okay. All right. So that's the title of our story. You're going to read the story, and I have questions at the end that you're going to answer. Okay? This is just a lesson summary. Use your background knowledge with what you're going to read to draw emphasis. Quote accurately from the text by using the statement starters. Explain what the text says by using your organizing graphics. Okay? And your adjective is going to be, at the end, you're going to write 3 things that you have learned from today's lesson. Okay? All right? So, everyone, at this time, you're going to read the first flight. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to read the first flight and answer the questions on page 43. And at the end, we're going to go over it together. And I also have questions for you as well about the first flight. So at this time, everybody is going to be independent. You're going to read the first flight. Yes, ma'am. You need a pencil? Okay. Now that we have read over the story, I have a few questions to answer, to ask you all. Okay. Our pencils down. Who can tell me who flew the first kites? Who flew the first kites? Yes, ma'am.
The people in China.
Thank you. The people in China. Good job. All right. How did Leonardo da Vinci distribute the flight to history? What did he do? Yes, ma'am.
He made more than 100 sketches for flying machines.
Okay, very good. He made more than 100 sketches from flying machines. Okay, that influenced other inventors. Good. What is the difference between the first hot air balloon and Alito's glider? What is the difference between the first hot air balloon and Alito's glider? What was the difference? Yes, ma'am. Okay. The hot air balloon couldn't be controlled, but the Alito's glider designed a glider that a person could fly. Right. Okay. What is the article mostly about? After reading this article of the story, what is it mostly about? You can tell me. Aiden?
People created flying machines throughout time.
Okay. It was all about how people created flying machines and their inventors. Okay? All right, let's look at our questions that we had. Look at your questions that you did. Let's go over number 1 together.
Here's your reminder. Begin small groups.
Let's go over number 1 together.
Here's your reminder. Begin small groups.
What inference is best supported by the passage? On number 1. What inference is best supported by the passage? The passages on on paragraph 1. Okay. What inference is best supported by the passage? Sean, read it for me, please.
Inventors learn from the work of others.
Okay. Inventors learn from work of others. How do you know that? What information in the text tells you that? How do you know that?
Because in the 1850s, George Callicles helped to achieve control of life. His blood design shaped the work of, Otto Da Vinci. He wrote a book about his experiments, which inspired 2 brothers from Ohio, Olivia and Robert Wright.
Okay. So, what did everybody put for number 1? A. A is the answer. Very good. Inventors learn from workers of others. That should have to number 1. B says, what 2 sentences from the text best illustrate the inference in part A? What 2 inference? Okay. What 2 sentences in the text? Okay. Remember, you're getting it from the text. Who haven't called on yet? Dion. What number? You said A. Read it what it says.
People have dreamed of flying since the beginning of time.
Okay, you said A. What other number? What other letter? A and what?
E.
A and E. Read E for me, please.
He wrote a book about his experience, which inspired 2 brothers from Ohio, Orville and Warburg White.
Okay. Gotcha. That's not that's not correct, but those 2 answers well, one of those answers is not correct, but you got one of them correct. E is correct, but the other one is not. A is not A.
Okay.
Good try. Good try, sir. Who haven't called on yet? I'm talking to who haven't called on yet.
Ishmael.
Ishmael, I'm sorry, Ishmael. What are the 2 answers for B? B, read it.
In 1783, the what is that word?
Glover.
Martin Glover brothers built the first hot air balloon.
Okay. And what's the other answer?
E.
Okay. Read it for me, please.
He wrote a book about his experiments, which inspired 2 brothers from Ohio, Orville,
Mm-hmm.
and Ryder
Wilbur. Right.
wrote.
Okay. One of your answers is incorrect. Yeah, E is correct, but one of B is not B. Okay. Who has B correct? Who think they have B correct? Let me say that. Who think they have B correct for number for the second part? Yasmin. What are the 2 answers you have correct? What are the 2 answers you have for that one? All right. Read C for me, please.
His glider design shaped the work of
Otto. Lefkoe. Okay. And what's the other one?
E.
All right. What's E?
He wrote a book about his experiments, which inspired 2 brothers from Ohio,
Oville.
and Wilbur Wright.
Correct. Right. That's correct. The answers are C and E. Good job. Okay. That's what you have for number for B part. C and E. Okay? All right, you're gonna keep these papers. Hold on to them. Okay. Now, we're going to go into writing. Turn to page 45 for me, please. Open your book to page 45. Okay? Let's look at the chart on page 45 where it says first flight. Okay, it says use the chart below to organize your ideas and your evidence. You're going to use the chart below to organize your ideas and evidence. Okay? First thing you need to write is what is in the text. Okay? Then you're going to write what I know, which is your experience. And then you're going to write your inference. Okay? You have I want you to write the short question you're going to answer is at the bottom where it says write. Use the space below to write your answer to the question on page 43. Okay? Where it says write. Let's look at page 43. Write your evidence. Page 43. What evidence from the passage supports the idea that the technology of flight improved greatly in less than 150 years? What evidence from the passage supports the ideas that technology of flight improved greatly in less than 150 years? Okay? Use quotes from the text. You have to quote. Okay? Remember, that's our standard. Okay? Use quotes from the text that from the passage in your response. Okay? So when you're writing, make sure you're quoting. All right? Use the space provided on page 45 to write your answer. So on page 45, you're going to go back and write your answer where it says write at the bottom. Okay? You're going to answer that question. All I need to know is, go back to page 43 if you need to. The question is, what evidence from the passage supports the idea that technology of flight improved greatly in less than 150 years? Okay? In other words, how did technology improve flying? Okay? How did technology improve over the years? And you may not know so much because a lot of you are young, but that's something you may want to look up while you're at home or in school, find out the history of technology. But technology is very powerful now. In the schools today, technology is very powerful. When I started teaching back in '98, when I first started teaching, we had textbooks. You all don't have textbooks anymore. Okay? You all have Chromebooks. You all have laptops. You all have phones. Okay? My students at Garrison Elementary School, when I started working at Garrison, that's when it was a neighborhood school. Okay? Our kids use textbooks. Spelling book, they had a spelling book, they had a science book, reading book, math book, social studies books. So they had 6 books to take home every day. Now you all don't have textbooks. So technology has improved. Okay? That's what they want to know. How did technology improve flying over 150 years? How did technology improve it? How did it improve it? Please let me know. Write your answer on that line, or in your paper, sorry. You have to infer from the text. You have about 4 minutes to complete this. 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yes. 4 minutes.
Everybody's so fast.
Yes, baby. Keep on this part here. See the evidence between the past official reports, the ideas between them. You are doing the writing part now. Don't worry about the top part, the chart. I want you to do the writing part that I just read. You're not doing the top, you're not doing this part. You're doing this part here. You know what I'm saying? You're doing this part. Why your page different? Oh, you do this part here. Everybody should be on page 45 at the bottom, where it says write. Oh. There goes some. All right, boys and girls. Everybody stop. Pencils down, please. All right, let me hear just a couple of people. Give me a few, I have a few volunteers to tell me how did technology improve the time of flying? Who can tell me, just a couple of people, I need a couple of volunteers. Sean, what did you say?
Because this, the first airplane can only fly for 15 seconds, while the airplane we have today can fly for over a day.
All right, very good, okay, good job. Anyone else? I need one more person. Aiden, what did you write?
Well, I was gonna write this because in old times the technology advances even how to develop robot wings when they can fly. And when the first air balloon was created, it was made up of
Good job.